It's Good Friday. Such an important day. Great for us, recipients of an amazing gift. Someone has paid an enormous price for us, for everyone's sin in the whole world. That's amazing. Jesus paid the price. We couldn't face off with Satan himself. We couldn't be that clever, that pure. We couldn't be that integrous. Even before the world was created, God built in this safety net, that God himself would come to earth and become mortal, become a human. He came as a baby. He had to learn everything from scratch, and yet he was every bit God. But he couldn't do anything on earth with his divine powers. He chose to limit himself so that we would have a prototype to follow, so that we would be able to see what being a good human is like. It's amazing. And then on Good Friday, which was good for us, but it was not good for Jesus, he gave himself over into the hands of his creation. I believe that no one ever suffered as he suffered. He was humiliated. He was mocked. He was spit on. He was beaten. He was scourged with a horrible weapon. They tortured him. By his stripes we are healed. By every one of those wounds. God has a way of turning evil for good. Somehow he always makes it right. He became sin on the cross, the incarnation of sin, and that separated him from God. On the cross he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" For the first time, he was totally human, totally alone, taking on the full weight of every human being's penalty of sin, an excruciating burden. And he did it knowing ahead of time every detail of what he was going to face. He chose to stay and die for us. He said, "No one is causing my death. You're not taking my life. I am choosing to lay it down for the joy of what it would accomplish." He chose this fate. Because of that, we all have a path to God. Some people think that God would send us to hell. We have our whole lives to decide what our fate is. We choose where we want to go. Thank you for the ways you've provided for me, God. Thank you for life. Thank you for the miracle of being on this planet. God has told us everything he wants us to know. The Bible was written over centuries by many people, but everything in it has proved true. Everything in it stands up to science. So many details. Many of these details were written in advance. It was prophecy. Jesus would ride into Jerusalem on a donkey colt that no one had ever ridden before. It was prophecy he would be betrayed by someone close to him for 30 pieces of silver. It was prophecy that Jesus would not have his bones broken on the cross. It was prophecy that a spear would pierce his side. It was prophecy the sky would darken and there would be earthquakes. It was prophecy he would be laid in the empty tomb of a rich man. It was prophecy that Jesus would be crucified. When it was written, there was no crucifixion. We call this punishment that he endured Good Friday for good reason. On the cross, Jesus said, "It is finished." There's nothing we can do to add to what he did. He traded his life for our future. That changed everything. The soldiers took his body down from the cross. They moved him to an empty crypt. They sealed the crypt with a massive stone. A legion of Roman soldiers stood outside to guard it. But on that day, the day we celebrate as Easter, some of the women who knew Jesus came to the tomb and found it empty. An interesting detail, in that culture at that time, women were not even considered to be people. No one believed them. So if someone was inventing a story, this was a very unlikely way to invent it. His life elevated women, and this event was the shockwave. Soon everyone saw the resurrection and experienced the miracle. Easter is a time of great joy, of celebration, of family and friends, and because of Jesus, we can have a good life. We can have the right kind of life, the harvest of his sacrifice to defeat evil for all eternity. May life bring you joy, peace, love, goodwill. This is Easter. This is Resurrection Day, the day the universe changed. Thanks for listening.